Among the most enigmatic objects in human history is a ring that, according to ancient narrations, was sent from the heavens. This ring, endowed with extraordinary characteristics, has been mentioned in various religious sources and esoteric texts. It is believed that whoever possessed this ring could wield great power on earth, although its whereabouts have remained hidden for centuries. In scriptures, it is said that this ring was connected to some of the most prominent prophets, such as Prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, whose wisdom and dominion were blessings granted by Allah. According to traditions, this ring was not a common object, but a divine tool with a specific mission. It is said that upon being expelled from paradise, Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, carried with him a ring granted by Allah, the Most High. This ring, inscribed with the words "Sovereignty belongs to Allah," was a manifestation of divine knowledge, and not a means of earthly power. The intention was for the ring to return to paradise, once its purpose was fulfilled. As humanity multiplied over the centuries and different nations emerged, Allah, in His infinite wisdom, entrusted the angel Gabriel, peace be upon him, with the task of delivering the ring to a chosen servant. This servant was Prophet Dawud, peace be upon him, a man of deep faith and bravery, who was guided to fulfill his prophetic mission. Prophet David, known for his humility and devotion, was tested on various occasions. One of the most famous episodes is his confrontation with Goliath, a feared enemy of the children of Israel. With the help and permission of Allah, David defeated this adversary, demonstrating that true strength lies in faith in the Creator and not in physical power. This victory marked the beginning of a just leadership, where David was endowed with unique wisdom and abilities by Allah. The ring, entrusted to Prophet David, symbolized the dominion granted by Allah over elements and creatures. However, this power was not for personal benefit, but a tool to establish justice and order on earth. Through this ring, Prophet David was able to govern fairly, confront the forces of evil, and guide his people toward the straight path. With Allah's permission, the angel Gabriel, peace be upon him, was sent to Prophet David, peace be upon him, with an important message and a special object. Gabriel presented him with a ring, accompanied by divine instructions. "O Dawud, this ring comes from the Most High, and along with it, I bring questions that you must ask your sons. To the one who answers correctly, this ring will be entrusted, and he will be designated to govern justly under Allah's command." Following the received instructions, Dawud gathered his sons and the people, posing the questions one by one. These questions were profound, challenging not only knowledge but also wisdom and spiritual reflection. What is the most beautiful and the most unpleasant thing in the world? What is the sweetest and the most bitter? One by one, the sons attempted to answer, but only Solomon, peace be upon him, gave responses that demonstrated true understanding and discernment. However, Dawud noticed something that unsettled him. He observed that Suleiman smiled as he answered each question. Intrigued, he asked the reason for his gesture. Suleiman explained humbly, "O father, I did not know the answers myself, but an ant nearby whispered the answers to each question. This filled me with awe and gratitude for Allah's creation, for even the smallest creatures possess wisdom when Allah decrees it." Reflecting on these words, Dawud recognized that knowledge comes solely from Allah, and that even the most unexpected means can be used to convey His will. Thus, the ring was entrusted to Suleiman, who was guided to govern with equity and wisdom. This ring, known as the Seal of Suleiman, was a symbol of the power granted by Allah, not only over humans but also over the winds, animals, and jinn. Suleiman used this power with devotion and always in obedience to the Most High, consolidating a kingdom based on justice and service to creation. Over time, stories about this ring have been told, some of which mix facts with legends. According to one of these accounts, Suleiman, in a moment of carelessness, entrusted the ring to his wife before entering the bath, as was his custom out of respect. It was then that a jinn, disguised as Suleiman, deceived her and took the ring. Deprived of this symbol of authority, Suleiman was expelled from the palace and forced to live among fishermen, working humbly while trusting that Allah would rectify the situation. Some time later, the jinn, unable to bear the weight of the responsibility and power that the ring represented, threw it into the sea. With Allah's permission, the ring was found in the belly of a fish and returned to Suleiman. This episode demonstrated that true power does not reside in objects, but in Allah's guidance and will. It is narrated that, with Allah's permission, Prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, recovered the ring in an extraordinary manner. After a period of trial and humility, the ring was found inside a fish, and Suleiman placed it back on his finger, thus restoring the authority that Allah had granted him. He returned to the palace and resumed leadership with justice, always mindful that true power and sovereignty belong solely to Allah, who bestows His blessings on whom He wills. This story, widely known, reminds us of the importance of faith and absolute reliance on Allah in all circumstances. Although popular sayings claim that whoever has the ring is like Suleiman, in Islamic tradition, the idea that jinn or any other creatures could usurp the position of a prophet is not accepted, as it contradicts the perfection and protection of Allah's messengers. In recent times, archaeological discoveries have been reported related to inscriptions and artifacts that some consider linked to the seal of Suleiman. In a recent operation in Turkey, objects such as a statue, gold inscriptions, and a bronze seal were seized, which certain researchers suggest might be associated with the prophet. However, such claims must be carefully examined, as the authenticity and historical context of these objects have yet to be confirmed. Despite the fascination with this particular ring, it is essential to remember that, according to Islam, true power does not lie in material objects, but in obedience to Allah and the fulfillment of His will. Suleiman was blessed with extraordinary abilities, such as dominion over the winds, animals, and jinn, but he always used these blessings to establish justice, promote faith, and guide his people toward the straight path. Regarding the future, Islamic teachings mention that certain signs will appear in the last days, such as the return of Moses, peace be upon him, staff, and Suleiman's seal, which will serve as manifestations of divine power and not tools of earthly conquest. These events will align with Allah's will and serve as signs to guide believers toward the truth. Finally, it is important to approach any speculation about metaphysical powers or the use of jinn and worldly matters with caution. Islam teaches that jinn, like humans, are creatures subject to Allah's command, and the actions of those who seek to use them for selfish or harmful purposes are far from righteousness. This story, beyond its narrative character, invites us to reflect on the greatness of Allah, the humility of the prophets, and the importance of using any blessings granted to us in the service of others and in obedience to the Creator.